I am Nevaeh Richardson. I am a junior graphic design major at Howard University, and I'm from Houston, Texas. I think I'm doing good. I mean, I'm stable. No, I've been diligently taking my antidepressants and hanging with community and friends, and yeah. So I think I've shown symptoms of depression since 11. I think I can remember like feeling disassociated from myself and things like that. But I think it really came to a head in high school, like my sophomore year. That's when things just really deteriorated. I don't want to sound crazy. Hold on. I didn't deteriorate, but I was really just hurt, really heartbroken, and just couldn't pull myself out of this very dark spiral. And I was thinking of death constantly, and there are just things going on at home too, so it was just a lot going on. When I had my first major depressive episode in high school, I was doing research into what symptoms of depression look like and what they feel like and how other people describe it. So I didn't know it was depression at 11. I thought it was normal. I thought I felt like I was watching myself outside of my body, and I was really numb and really nonchalant and didn't care about much. And yeah, I thought that was just normal. I didn't know it was a symptom of anything else. And looking at my family's history of mental health, I just figured when I did do the research in high school that that's what it was. I tried to tell my mom, but we just really didn't get the proper help that I needed. And I don't think she didn't understand, and she still doesn't, I think, the extent of what I was feeling and how I struggle with it. I don't know, I think there's just a stigma and not really a lot of education. Well, I don't know, I just don't think she knows how depression works, really. I think she just thinks it's being sad, and it's a lot more than that. But yeah. Yeah, it's like a brain chemical thing. My grandmother has schizophrenia, my uncle had ADHD, so it's kind of genetic, but also there were a lot of home factors. We weren't financially stable, and as the oldest sibling, I was kind of parenting and doing more than a child should, and my needs were pushed aside. So yeah, it was a lot of that. I have a healthy community now. I feel like for the first time I'm around healthy adults. I love my family, but I feel like since I've gotten here, there are people that are progressively working on their mental health and their trauma, and they're trying to do better. And yeah, just Grace Mosaic and church and my growth in faith has helped me a lot. I plan to keep taking my antidepressants and continue on with counseling and just continue to reach out to others, because I feel like it is easy to isolate myself, and depression does make you feel like you're the only person going through this, even though it is a very common mental illness. Yeah. I think, like I said, being an oldest sibling, I was taking on a lot more than I should have as a kid, especially with the financial hardship we were going through. And my emotional needs were pushed aside, and I was praised for just keeping things to myself and not expressing them. And I clung to school and moving away because I just knew that the moment I left, I'd be living for myself. So I would give wholeheartedly to my sisters right now in this moment and be selfless, but once I leave, I'll have the opportunity to live for myself. Yeah.
So how was that?
It's great. And it isn't the easiest thing, but I feel like I can make and own my own mistakes and pay the consequences for them and not the consequences for other people's mistakes. And yeah, I've just learned a lot so far, and it's only been a year since I left home, about love and people in life. So yeah.
So yeah, do you feel afraid for your sisters though?
I do, but I think through personal work I've seen too that I can be over responsible for just other people. And I love my mom and I'm very close to her, but it can also be a strained relationship, and I don't think she knows that. Just because, how do I say this without slandering my mother on Instagram? How do I say this? Because what I'm trying to say is I want her to take responsibility, like even though she is missing some things like from her childhood, and that impacts the people, like how she relates to others and impacts who she's trying to please and things like that. I still want her to be responsible for her own healing, and I can't do that for her. Like, I remember when I first told her I was depressed in high school, and she flipped it around to, well, I'm doing the best that I can. And it wasn't about me. It was just like, I feel like a way to quiet me. Yeah, and that's why I don't share a lot now. I'm not vulnerable, because I feel like whenever I did express my needs and the things that hurt me, yeah.
She didn't. Yeah. She kind of said it. She still does it.
Mm-hmm.
Your needs are still pushed aside.
Yeah, and I don't think she wants to come like face to face with how her mistakes have like impacted us. Like, I feel like I was belittled at times, and when I think about it, I'm just shocked that I came out of the house with like any sense of self-esteem, just because I had to build that myself.
Do you think your sisters have the capacity to do that?
That's what I'm worried about.
Okay. I think apparently there needs to be some sort of real understanding of the ramifications of what's going on with your mom.